for fun or leisure. There's a baby just on its own. How is it going, everyone? So I decided today, I was like, oh, I want to go, it's nice and sunny. It's nice and sunny, so I want to go for a ride. It's absolutely glorious. It's about 20 degrees. No rain clouds in sight. Still got my shorts on. So I thought, you know what? I'm going for a ride, and I'm going to ride up to a Costa and just have a nice iced coffee in the sun. So I thought, I'll just record it, and I thought, you know what? Some people have been asking me about kind of like a podcast kind of thing. I'm still working out how to do that really, in terms of on a cycle ride, because I got microphones. I got 2 microphones, but the problem is my gear can hear them, but I can't if they're up ahead of me. So got to try and sort a way, maybe like a motorcycle intercom that people use, something like that, and then I can get that kick started with some of the people that I ride with, and maybe even some of you guys, if you come down to Bristol or there's a ride out somewhere and I come up. But I thought, you know what? Let's just chat. Let's just have a chat. So occasionally I'll do a video like this, and it'll have no cuts, no edits. It'll just be my full cycle down to some destination. Probably won't have the face cam, because then it just allows me a little bit more freedom. And you all know what I look like now. And just chat about stuff, anything, absolutely anything at all. And I thought what probably would be a good subject today is the future of electric cycling, really. And honestly, I think the future of electric cycling is incredibly bright, honestly. So, like, you think about where it's come probably in the last 10 years, and then coming from there to now with bikes like this and the Super 73 and the cooler cups and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that have changed and advanced and got better. I think there's only a few things holding it back, and one of those main things, I think, is people. And I'm not talking about people that ride them, I'm talking about people that don't. Because, like, in my last video you saw there was one guy and he like shook his head like, you shouldn't be riding that on here kind of thing. And then there was also a couple of cyclists that ripped past me and went, that's cheating. You know, there's like this kind of just stupid stigma around electric bikes. And it's just really, really stupid. Because, like, especially with electric bikes and saying like it's cheating or something. So, like, I don't have any physical disabilities or anything like that. want to waffle around people. But yeah, I don't have any physical disabilities, but not all disabilities can be seen. So imagine I can't imagine what it's like to be one of those people and then someone says something like that to you. Imagine just being that person. Just make you feel horrible. And like, you really just shouldn't do it, you know? If someone wants to ride an electric bike, just let them ride an electric bike. It's got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Just leave it out. Just carry on riding your own bike and enjoy that. So yeah, just people, I think stigma is one of the things holding it back. Secondly, in the UK, not so much in the US, not so much in the US, is the laws. It's just the UK law is very, very frustrating, I think, for most people. Like having a limit of 250 watts, that's just not high enough. Anyone knows, like, that's just not high enough. Especially, like, I'm lucky I live in somewhere where I've got cycle tracks where there's only bikes, or should only be bikes, all the way to most of my working locations. But for someone who lives more in the city, like trying to keep up and get out of the way of traffic on a 250 watt electric bike is going to be an absolute hassle. And then also the people that don't are living in more hilly areas. Like, I know I've got a subscriber who said he lived in Kent and asked me how this would handle hills, and I said, well, if it's anything like Bristol, which is really, really, really hilly, it will do just fine. But 250 watt one, it wouldn't even touch the sides. I used to have a Carrera Vengeance back in the day. Carrera Vengeance e-bike from Halfords. And it was nice, like straight like this, perfect. But as soon as I came to a little bit of an incline, it would either completely cut out or just, it wouldn't help. I'd have to just power it up myself. So yeah, it's like, that's one of the things, it's just the laws. Just the laws surrounding it at the moment are just like quite ridiculous. it's not quick enough. It's very, and it's just, yeah, it simply isn't. Like, I think in the UK, in Bristol, our rural roads are meant to be 20-mile-an-hour limits, all of them. Are meant to be 20-mile-an-hour limits, so I think if that should be the limit on an electric bike, it shouldn't be allowed to go to the legal speed limit on a rural street. Obviously, it's not currently the case, and people really struggle because they get what happens in the UK, probably not, as I said, probably not so much in the US, is they buy the bike expecting it to be able to handle these kind of hills and speeds and stuff like that, just going into it like naively, I guess. But it's not really. But it's not really naive. It's just what you expect, I guess. But as soon as they get it, it just don't work out, and then they'll either refund it or just stop riding it. And that's really holding back the UK market, I think, from really booming. Whereas the Americans, anything under 750 watts, so 3 times the power of what we're allowed in England, and anything up to 28 miles an hour. So much more freedom from the Americans than the English. Yeah, a lot more freedom in the States than there are in England, so I'd imagine the market will be much better over there for these kind of bikes. And it's because people are worried. You know, people are worried about getting their bike taken off them, because these things are not cheap. Which brings me on to the third thing, which is affordability. Bikes like this one, like ones that are really cool, I guess, are just far too expensive at the moment for the average consumer. Especially if you're just doing it for fun or leisure. There's a baby just on its own.
It was a fucking baby standing on a corner. And the baby didn't even look scared. He was just standing there. The old baby on the corner trick, eh? I'm not gonna fall for that shit.
That was disturbing. Hey mate, you alright? Yeah, just get down there. Cheers, bud. But yeah, it's just the cost. The cost is incredibly high. Especially, as I said, if you're just doing it for leisure, like, it's just a fun thing. Going, oh, I'm gonna drop $3 like on this, just on something I may ride once, twice, 3 times a month. It is a lot of dough. I will not lie. But me, you can justify it more when you're like me, and you're going to be using it for going to work, all that kind of stuff, and making YouTube videos, I guess. You can really justify it a lot better. But God, this is stony, isn't it? I've never been down here. I'm glad I got my off-roaders on. Wow. Wow. Just trying to get my bearings now. Okay. Guess I could have just jumped onto that side of the road. Get on over here. There we go. Try not to slide out. See, this bit I remember from the last time I rode down here. And I was just like, whoa. No going 25 mile an hour on here, that's for sure. But yeah, so price point really difficult to justify for people. And I think that's probably the three core areas in which is currently holding it back. Currently holding it back, and that's a pity, because as you know, as you guys have probably figured out, I bloody love this thing, and it just gives so much joy. And I know there are a few of you out there now subscribed and who watch this, who went and bought an electric bike, and even went and bought this electric bike, and I hopefully I helped you in some way of picking that, because it is a fantastic bike. But yeah, I think the future is bright. We just need to get over these few hurdles. And I know electric bike laws seem to change all the time, so hopefully it changes soon, because I live in Bristol, and Bristol is a green city now, so you have to have clean fuel, that kind of stuff, if you're going through the city. And also they like to advertise it as bike friendly, which it is. We've got cycle tracks and all that kind of stuff, but you'd think they'd go, let's do a little bit more and make it electric bike friendly as well, and give more exposure to electric bikes. Let them go a little bit faster, let them be a little bit stronger, and I don't know, even grants, because at the moment you can, especially for electric vehicles, for an electric car, you can get a grant from the government for like a few £1,000. So how awesome would it be if they did that for electric bikes? But that's all for today, guys, because I'm about to go in here and have a nice iced coffee. But thanks very much for listening, and as always, I will see you next time, and remember, stay awesome.